My name is Dmitry. As you can see, I'm 39 years old, and I'm going to talk to you about working remotely for the United States companies. Before I start, I just want to say thanks to all the great speakers that have been speaking before me. I think it was really great. So, first few words about me. We're going to talk about the working remotely for United States companies, and I think I'm a good person to talk about that, because I do it for many years. As you can see, I'm working mostly remotely since 2008. This means like this year is like 15 years that I've been doing so. And since last 5 years, I found such a nice thing as a vetted marketplaces. This is the main topic that we're going to discuss. And I have a various experience working remotely. I've been working, with Russian bosses, from Russia, or with, say, Russian-speaking bosses from Europe. And then I switched to working for the vetted marketplaces and Canadian and States projects. So, and just to finish about me, I love playing music. And after this meetup is going to be finished, we're going to move to that room to listen to my band. Okay, first of all, just to discuss remote work. And I want to ask a few questions about you guys. I don't know you guys. I see a lot of new faces for me. I see some familiar faces. But nevertheless, please, who is working remotely right now? Please, raise your hands. I see that a lot of people. Please, don't remove them, please. Stay raise it up. Okay. Who started working remotely since 2020? Then, please remove your hands. Please stay, please stay the guys who started working remotely before COVID. Yeah, who started before COVID? Okay, guys, I think you have some solid experience. And thank you so much. And do we have anybody with a native English here? I've seen a Donovan here. Okay, you have some. And where are you from? From the United States. That's nice. And you?
No, it's just showing you.
Oh, okay. Okay, do we have anybody from Australia? Or from Northern Ireland, or from Great Britain? Nobody. Okay. I would love to. There was a talk, just the previous lecture, been discussing various cultural differences. I wanted to show some real accents that you could meet in the wild. But okay. So, I think because you are working remotely, probably you know the pros and cons of working remotely. First, and the most important for me is the freedom of your lifestyle. You are free to choose where you are living, right? And you are almost free in choose what are your working hours. When you're going to work. Are you going to work from the morning, or are you a night person? You want to work in the night? You can control that. And the most important thing, the second important thing, I think is about having an economic freedom. When you're starting to work for the United States companies, you don't do it for a European salary. Like, how do you think? Okay, let's again raise some hands. Who has a stable income of more than $10,000 per month? That's private info. Okay. And if you count, we are having like 160 working hours in a month, right? Almost everybody of you knows that, roughly. And this means that if you want to get more than 10,000, what you have to do? You have to work full-time for $60 per hour. Is that right, Mas? More or less. And $60 per hour is a mid-developer rate in the United States. It's not even a senior rate. So think about the possibilities. I mean, this is very important, right? You are working for some advanced developed economy, But then, because of the first point, you are free to choose where you're living. I will show on the next slide more on that. And the third, very important for me. First of all, again, some hand raising. Who is working in office? Somehow, goes to office sometimes. Who have been going to office? Almost everybody have been going to office. And did you have many people in your office? Was it a big office? Was it a comfortable office? But were you able to control that office? Did you have the freedom to choose what cookies should be in the kitchen? I bet you don't, unless you've been an office manager, of course. And so, you are free to make your own office. My office, like, I work alone in my office, and I really love it, you know? And I have kind of 3 rooms in my office that I can sit on. Or I can go to garden. Or I can watch to the sea. I can look to the sea when I'm programming or when I have some call, you know, blah, 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 blah. Such a nice sunset. So it's really, I mean, this is really important. You are now in control of everything. You are now in control of your lifestyle, of when you are going to wake up and when you're going to, you know, to sleep. You are in control of how money you could earn. It totally depends on you. And you can make your own working space. So, and because work is considered like making about a third of our lives, wouldn't you love to control that part of your life? Okay, where is it? So, and about the cons, of course, but you would have to build your office. I mean, unless you have some quiet place, some place where you are comfortable in, you wouldn't be able to work effectively, right? Or, I don't know, who have been working in a kindergarten? Did you love it? I mean, coding inside the open kindergarten. This is not so nice experience, you know. I made it. I made that application working in a kindergarten because there was no other place to work. But guys, that's not the best experience of my life, honestly, right? And you would have to do it. You would have to do it because you have to join the meetings, join the calls, etc. And you cannot do it if you have 3 old toddler climbing you up, you know. So this could be a con, right? Because we are not, maybe you are not so good in controlling, or you don't have the ability, I don't know. Maybe in your town there are no offices to rent, but you would have to do it. And you would have to clean the dishes yourself, probably. Another possible pitfall of the remote work is that you're losing the sense of touch with reality. You're losing the sense of touch with other people. Like, who are those other people that I'm working with? I'm working in Turing for 2 years. I have seen 1 employee from Turing through my full career. I've never seen them. So it requires some special kind of socializing. It's not like you're, like something that you are used to. And very important stuff. Very important thing. You would have to master self-control. Unless you would control yourself properly, you again would not be able to do it. Of course, you would have some remote managers, but just as you, Nikita, said about that Indian girl, like she just goes somewhere else and doesn't pick up the phone, right? And after a few times, probably she could be fired, right? So, now I just want to ask you, did I say that? Like, does it make sense? I don't hear from that part. In that part, does it make sense in that part of the result? Yeah. At least. Okay, and now just a small map for you. Okay, right? Do you know what is a thermal pump? You have different layers of water laying in the earth of different temperature, and because of it has different temperature, just because of the fact it has different temperatures, you can get some power out of the earth. And thus, let's take a look. Wouldn't you love to make money in a red area and spend them somewhere in a green area? By the way, we are right there at the edge of the green area. Yeah, I just want to say, by the way, the previous part of the lecture was mostly theoretical so far, but we are now going into some practical details. So if you would love to take notes, please take notes, and please make photos. Basically, I was thinking about it a lot, and I think that all the prerequisites for you to start remote work, imagine that I have already convinced you, or you're already working on a remote job, but what are the prerequisites for working remotely for the United States companies? As you can see, there are only three. You have to learn English, you have to understand English, and you have to at least be able to barely speak English. You have to be able to control your lifestyle, and your lifestyle should be able to give you possibilities for a self-officing, right? So not others climbing you up. And a lot of legal requirements. There are some legal requirements, and we will go deeper now into that. I'm not going deeper into English, I suppose, because the fact that you are listening to me probably means that you understand what I say. But, and most of the time it's 90% enough, you know. Yeah. Okay. So there are eight topics on the legal stuff that I want to cover. As you can see, they're a little bit more dull. You see those squares, no more fancy pink letters, right? First of all, you have to master banking in your own country, understand? In your country, in the country of your residence, probably you would have to have some banking account. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to receive the international money transfers. And this is not something that, it's not like a usual office job. No. Nobody would go instead of you into the bank. Nobody. No. You would have to do it yourself. You'd have to understand what is the best bank for you, how to do all this paperwork, and really do it by your own hands. Well, I'm a little bit nervous. It's such a big audience. Secondly, you would have to know what is the tax system, your taxing system, and you would have to obey it or do something else. But and again, this is something that you would have to do. You would have now to pay your taxes, and you have to understand. You have to to do all the research to understand. And by doing this research, definitely you would find some communities, some Telegram channels and chats of another remote contractors that have already done that. But anyway, it's going to be your own personal experience, like unpaying taxes or paying taxes, whatever. And third, just in short, it's better to not have any crime punishments. Right? Not for all the jobs, but for some jobs, for some United States projects, you would have to go through the security clearance, and that would include some background checks of who you are, what is your identity, what the person you are, including checking your crime records. Sometimes it could even include drug test. Yes, you are working remotely, but still, like we are so serious, you have to show that you don't use drugs. Fourth, you have to understand how to do all this digital stuff. Like again, it's more about being able to investigate, being able to research the law systems, the banking systems, the taxing systems, because everything changes so rapidly now. I mean, like 3 years ago, I was receiving money in a totally different way compared to how I do it now, right? So everything changes. You would have to understand what you do and how it's going to change, and what is your next move on receiving those nice money. And for that, actually, lastly, the crypto awareness. You shouldn't be, you shouldn't be a miner, of course. You shouldn't be a crypto don or crypto investor, but at least it would really benefit you to understand how to sell USDT and how to buy USDT at least. So at least small level of crypto awareness would really help you in this remote job start. Next, you would need to understand some stuff about how international banking system works, how exactly SWIFT works, what are those codes, etc. And again, you would at the time you would make your application for some vetted marketplace, you would have to to understand all these international banking details. And the two last points. I decided not to put the no word, but actually it should be like no insurance, man. It's you on your own now. And no social protection. Again, most of the time you're going to be on your own. You now would have to take care for paying for a pension and having a proper medical insurance, etc. So this is probably, and I find it fascinating, right? For me, this is good. Okay, presumably you're okay, you would take care of making proper banking stuff, making it up, etc. What is next? Yes. Please take your time to look at the materials. Generally, I have divided all the types of the remote work into 4 broad categories. Let's start from the big outsourcer or outstaffer. In Russian it's called galera, right? So basically it is when you are a part of some other big mother company, you're really kind of in the ranks, right? But they sell you work outside. I bet most of you know what that means. Then goes the marketplace. Classical marketplaces are Upwork and freelance.ru. Right? This is just a marketplace. Here are the developers or other specialists. Here are the buyers. Now love each other. Right? And I have actually divided the small outsourcers into special group. Being a part of outsourcers is always being a part of outsourcer. You are not in control what projects are coming to you. You cannot choose them. But when you work in a small company, just as when you're living in a smaller country, it's like everything gets more humane, right? So that's why small outsourcers could be actually a pretty nice place to live in. We have some small outsourcers here in Montenegro. I've been even working in one of them. It's actually all right. And the last one, please take a look at those gentlemen. This is a vetted marketplace. Vetted marketplace is a marketplace where you don't have free entrance. You just cannot come out from cold. Developers are chosen. They have gone through some vetting procedures that really assess their programming levels. Projects are also vetted. They don't work with nobodies, right? You have to put the deposit. You would have your own account executive, etc. It's kind of for serious guys. So that's it. We are now going to talk more about vetted marketplaces. Just let me check the plan of my lecture. Did I miss something? Was it interesting so far? Did you find anything interesting for you yet? Because we are going into the most, now we are going to the most practical part. Right now I'm going to tell you about what vetted marketplaces are existing out there and how to get into them. Would you love to hear about how to get to vetted marketplace? Okay. Basically, and also just to finish about some theory, we have also 4 types of assignments. Full-time assignment is like when you're going to work for this employer for 5 days per week for 8 hours per day, at least. Part-time, you of course you know, it's about 20 hours per week. Hourly, sometimes you they just bill the hours. And then this is not something that I look for actually. And they buy out. It could happen that you've been chosen as a developer for the employee, for the employer, and they loved you. They loved you so much they want you to come to their place. And they make a buyout. They are paying commission to your parent company, and you go into their ranks for some time. And you know what is the good thing about buyout? Is that you can always come back. This is really fun stuff. One time they tried to buy me out. They didn't decide it yet, but it was a nice experience that immediately after that finished, I come back to Top Town and found a new project. So here are, please make a photos. I don't see, you should make photos now. I really mean it. Open doors for sites and do, right now, apply. Okay, so those are just 4 names. I will not go into details, because this could give some unfair competitive edge to one of the companies, but you should know that I work in this company, Turing.com. And Turing.com is officially the last unicorn of 2021. And basically we do it in a big scale. We unleash the human potential all around the world. This is our official slogan, you can find it on the site. But basically what we do, what is my user story, that I receive very, very interesting projects that I really love to work on in big international teams for really decent salary. That's it. This also could be shot. You can make photo of this one too. So, and this is just the general scheme, right? First you go the initial deployment, then you go through some vetting procedures. They're different for different providers. And then you're in. You are on this fair, on this developers fair. And then there is actually a new life comes, and there you would have to present yourself. So already, even before you start applying, I said to you hey, open those sites and apply, but actually you should think over those points. Who you are going to be for this platform? What is your tech stack? What is your real level? Are you a mid-level or senior? If you're junior, don't go. Yeah, really, if you're junior, don't go. And I mean, even before you go to vetting, you would already fill in a lot of information about yourself. So be ready to present yourself, right? To provide that information, to really, choose from 1,000 of different developer skills, what are your best skills? What should be your top 3 skills out of 1,000? And also, while you're coming through vetting, you should also prepare whatever prizes in IT and computer science you do have, like whatever certificates, especially international ones. If you have a degree, like a PhD or something, also prepare translations. But anyway, so immediately let me tell about what is vetting. Basically, there are 4 types of vetting procedures that I have met. Here are all of them. For example, for a top TAL, you should do first NTE, then you go into ACC. Depending on your ACC results, you can go to the LCI, and but if you are really good at ACC, then you go directly to a pet project. And after pet project, you have another NTE. So that's why there are no errors here, because for other providers, it could be different. But most of the time, you would have at least 1 NTE call, and usually even 2, and at least 1 of these blocks. Are there any questions on this, by the way? Should I go into more deeper detail?
I don't get what you mean by pet
Okay. Pet project or homework. For example, to go into top town, they give you some real homework, some real project that is roughly about 40 hours of your time that you have to do. And you have 2 weeks to do it, and after that you have to defend it. They really read through the codes, they really look how it works, and they really ask questions. It could be edge questions. No. But again, you are going to really change your life. Maybe I didn't give that point explicitly, right? Since I started this, it changed my life, guys. It totally changed my life. You know, like, it's like, I don't know, like jumping from the Russian car to Porsche. Any other questions on about those vetting procedures? Have anybody passed through ACC?
Are these platforms only for coders or engineers, or also for data analysts, for IT project managers, or something like this? Team leads?
Yeah, I got the question. For the top town, for example, which is one of the oldest and the most successful such remote work providers, you could be general coding specialist, you could be from the design side of the things, and I believe that lastly there are also PM positions. And this is the hot feature of the late 2022 and starting 2023, that they started to sell not only individual specialists, they started to sell small teams. And for a small team, you should have people from the different sides of life. Right? So it is open for everybody. You just need to find your proper remote work provider, right? That works with your specialty. For a team, I bet they take everybody. Other questions so far for the...
I guess no.
Okay. Oh, let me tell more about NTE. NTE means non-technical evaluation. And this means that they're evaluating all your non-technical skills. Like, how do you look? How do you speak? Right? And I told that usually there are 2 NTEs. And the first NTE is like sanity check. Are you a real person? Do you really look like a photo in your profile? Are you able to speak English? Are you able to understand English? Etc.
So it's just some kind of video interview?
Yeah, non-technical relation, some like half an hour Zoom call.
Yes.
Yeah, just like an introduction to each other, but they're carefully evaluating you. And usually there is a second NTE. And now this is coming after passing everything. And it is about the most important stuff. It is about your rate. What is your rate? For how much you're going to sell yourself on this market? What should be your starting point? I didn't say this is a starting point. Okay, this is actually a good case. And what I should to say to you that actually there is, I've heard, I never seen such documents by my own eyes, but I've heard that there are some documents where they say like, if you are living in this part of the world, what are your possible rates? So if you are living in Eastern Europe, right? And you didn't show, say, some exceptional technical capabilities, showing that you're a senior or even staff level engineer, you shouldn't go, say, for 100. They just would say, no projects for me. Yeah, so they have some leverage in this. And you should be, so I just want to say that you should be ready for this talk. Prepare yourself. Again, this is it is very much about your ability to research on your own, right? Use Glassdoor, find some communities, talk to other people, compare yourself to other people, look at their CVs, try to make CV for you as good as theirs, and then you can set this, 100, 130, why 60? Like, why 60? Why not 200?
It's just initial.
Okay. So, be ready for this rate talk. Like, you shouldn't say like, well, I would love to receive 40 to 50. They will just write 40 and that's it. Yes. If you are ready from 40 to 50, then you're ready for 40. Set. This is my last slide about rate change.
Sorry, can you repeat, please?
There is a question about what are ACCs, right?
Yeah, do you use some platforms for that, and how do you evaluate that the person does it himself?
Evaluate what?
That the person does it himself.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. So how it looks? It's a web page. On the left, usually it's divided into sites. And for sure, most of those companies use some ready-made platforms, just outsourcing. But Turing has its own ACC platform, for example. And TopTal, I believe, was using some outsourced ACC system. But they all look mostly the same. In the left side, you have your task. In the right side, you can code. When you're finished, you send it to a server that is going through automated test suite. That's why it's called automated, right? And if it passes test suits, okay, you're done. And nobody cares how did you done that. But, for example, in Turing.com, screen is recorded, and client, when he's going through developer profile, is able to really look how developer pasted those ACCs. And those ACCs are really checked by some real persons who are checking, are you cheating? Actually, cheating and anti-fraud is a big thing in those systems. As I'm now working internally, I now know a little more about that. But it's outside of this lecture. Let's move on. Do I have some more time?
No.
Okay. No, I have actually so a lot of more material. So please, Pavel, how much time I still left?
-1 minute.
1 minute. Okay. I will show the rest of the slides. Prepare your phones, please. There are really 3 types of matching, and depending on your provider, it could be different. For example, developers apply for projects. This is how it's done in TopTal. If you want to really choose your own project, then you should go for a TopTal or maybe A-Team. In those places when you have this type of matching. Another type, there are some special guys. They are called matchers, right? So they are connecting developers, choosing developers for the client's projects. And lastly, our sweet customers are choosing those developers. I mean, like.
You have more time. It's okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. And what I do in Turing, by the way, I work in Turing.com, so I am the tech lead of the interface for this type of matching. I am making a self-serve interface where people who have projects, who have money to give to you, are browsing through developers. So I exactly know how do they look in the customer's eyes. And I control that. Let's imagine that you have applied, and you have passed vetting procedures. By the way, you should be aware of timing. Like, the absolute minimum that I have seen was about 2 weeks. And one time I was passing vetting for 9 months because I was really bad at ACCs. So I failed it. I had to go back. I had to educate myself more. And I returned and I passed. But because I already failed, I also had to pass LCI. But eventually, again, it changed my life. It really took 9 months, but it changed my life. Actually, 9 months can change life a lot. Okay, and then when you are there, again, you are on the fair, and you are the subject to be bought, right? They're going to buy you. They're going to buy your unique personality, your unique skills, and your possibility to solve their problems. So, you should fill in your profile. And this is the most important thing for the customers. This is what they see. And please make a photo. This is some real hard-made points that I collected through interviewing hundreds of developers. I have seen a lot of times when people are talking not about what they have achieved, but what they've been doing. Nobody cares what you've been doing. Were you crawling to the Everest or were you flying? You are at the Everest? You made it, man. So tell about that you have made it to Everest, not about your crawl tries, not about how you're walking to it. And most of the time, the people who are looking through your profile are thinking in business terms. They are not coders. They don't know anything. Speak not about some special language or whatever, but about what you achieved for a business, what you made, what sales you made, or increased customer base, or decreased some process times, whatever. Just what you made for a business. And show your impact, how you actually impacted. And show it with numbers. Bad example. I have been developing a web project for a client that in the course of 3 months, we have made some feature. This is a very bad example. Show I have led a team of developers to develop a new sales system that in the course of 3 months increased sales by 37%. Man, this is an achievement. Numbers, impact. And you should also understand at what level you are presenting yourself. Are you presenting yourself as a mid-level developer or senior developer or even staff level developer? And show achievements of your level. If you are a leader, then coding achievements is not for you. For you, it's about making systems, making processes, making teams, making something that works on its own, and so on. And then, don't be in very big hurry. Please give it some time. Really, you can spend now you're in. You can spend 2 weeks. You can spend 4 weeks. Make it really good. Look at other people's CVs. Show your CV to your friends and family. And so on. Okay, now you have found your project. This is actually another, please just then make a photo. There are some some points, and I want to especially show those points for our audiences. I know there are many Russian people here. Please take a look at this chart. Remember, you are here. And the people that we are talking to would be mostly here. What's this? In the middle. And there are no people in the top part. Nobody talks like this. So, and you're going to work most of the time you're going to work with international communities. So be ready for strange things. Be ready to understand those people cultures. Be ready to understand that they're totally different. A few months ago, I had a talk with my developer, with my teammate, hey, how it's going, what's up? He said, oh, that's so nice. Next Saturday, I'm going to marry. And I said, wow, so nice. What is your name? And he says, I don't know. Because he's from Muslim region of India, and his wedding is arranged, and he doesn't even know the name of his bride yet. It was such a I really had nothing to say, what to say. So be ready for strange things. Be ready for very strange things, especially from people from some distant countries, from your own. And understand this emotional stuff. Most of the time you've been living in a very toxic environment. Most of the time, most of your life, you've been oppressed by your society, by the people who've been saying to you that you are not good. This is not right. You are good. And you should know that other people have been talking to you about you all your life. Also, another very important thing for Russian culture is a culture of openness. Don't hide that you are blocked. Please, don't hide that you're blocked. Say, hey, I'm in a bad situation, please help me. This would really help people, some of the people that you're going to work with. And really, master English. There are so many times when I'm instantly understanding that a person speaking still thinks in Russian, but speak with English words, It's about grammar, it's about idioms, and it's about accents. Some practical notes. You are now in control of your work life, of your work day. So control it. Establish your own routines. As you are getting older, I'm 39, so I have to say, as I'm getting older, my mind is getting slower. I have to care about it more. Just read about what is ergonomics of mental work. In Russian, this would be ergonomika ментального труда. And establish your working hours. It shouldn't be 8 hours, In a row, it could be 4 hours in the morning and 4 hours in some totally other time. You are in control of everything, but it should be established. Train the async work mode. It could be really easy that I have colleagues from India, from Africa, from South America, and from the East Coast. So we are working 20 hours per day, all the time. All the time somebody is online in my company. So, and we have to master the async work mode. It's like when you wouldn't be able to make call to this person. Never. Or you would have to do it in the middle of the night. Another important thing. Hey guys, don't miss sync-ups. This really helps to keep you socialized with your team. Otherwise you would, you could get some psycho effects, believe me. And another, finger pointing with problem solving. A very important thing in Russian culture that is very toxic by its nature. We always love to point fingers and say, you're bad, you did an error, you're bad. Don't do that, never. This is not a thing in remote work, to point fingers. Say politely, hey, looks like we have a problem. What do you think? But never point fingers. You could be fired for that, easily. Okay, lastly, I will give a last point. Every company has its own English language. Every big company starting to have its own language. So you would have to learn it. Use calendar apps. Don't forget to integrate your personal life, and you would be happy in your remote work. Yeah, looks like my talk had longer time.
Sorry.
That's it, guys. Just to finish. Hey, this can change your life. Please apply for a remote job and build your own way of working and enjoying your life. Thank you so much. My name is Dmitry. I'm from Turing.com. Turing.com. Remember that.